Howdy everyone, welcome to Con News Texas. I'm your host Sammy B, and I have been rejected from FaZe Clan a total of 6 times. What happened, Paul? You said you could get me in. No, I don't care how much money it costs, just send another application. We here at Con News are dedicated to providing you with the information you need so that you don't have to go clicking around a bunch of websites just to determine if a convention will be worth your time. We want this channel to be one convenient location where you can find all of the information you need to attend conventions confidently and without worrying about missing special events. So let's go ahead and move right on to this episode's convention spotlight, Koya Con in Midland, Texas. Koya Con will be happening June 24th through 26th at the Horseshoe Pavillion in Midland, Texas. Koya Con is hosted by the West Texas Anime Society, and this will be their 3rd year holding this convention. This is a pretty young convention as far as conventions go, but I would actually say that's more of a benefit to this convention rather than a detriment. Let me explain why. Young conventions are usually smaller conventions, which means that there's not as many big crowds. It's actually really easy to network with people, and it's a lot more easygoing. Smaller crowds and less stress usually makes for more fun in my book, but I'm a little bit of an introvert, so take that for what you will. Now you can actually pre-register for this convention online right now. A 3-day badge will run you $35. At the door, it's going to be $40. This convention isn't offering single-day badges, however they are offering children's badges, ages 6 through 12, and those will only be sold at the door. Here's a link to the registration information. Now let's move on to the attractions, starting out with their guests. Now this is an anime convention like A-Kon and Anime Matsuri, so most of their guests are anime voice actors, writers, and directors. They're going to have Josh Grell, a voice actor who has done work on Gatchaman. He voiced Armin from Attack on Titan. He's done work on Future Diary and Baka and Test. And he's also voice acted in video games like Dynasty Warriors, Borderlands 2, and Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi. Leah Clark, a voice actor most recognized for her role as Blair in Soul Eater. She's also done work on Eden of East, Baka and Test, Ouran High School Host Club, and Negima. Paul St. Peter will be there, who has done a ton of voice acting work. He's voice acted in Naruto, Bleach, Cowboy Bebop, Durarara, Gurren Lagann, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's also voice acted in video games like Resident Evil 5, Kingdom Hearts, and Diablo 3. Jeremy Inman will be there. He was the voice of Android 16 in Dragon Ball Z. He's also done work in One Piece, Fairy Tail, and Sengoku Basara. Professional cosplayers Carl Martin, Faraga Fox, Kaya, and Tabitha Walton will all be making appearances. Also present will be Kira Kira Entertainment and Iron Panda Corps. That's pretty much it for the guests. Now let's move on to programming. The convention hasn't uploaded their official programming schedule as of yet, however the convention still is a little bit ways away. But they will be having a cosplay competition, they'll have panels for their guests, they will have J-pop and K-pop viewing rooms, anime viewings, a manga library, and they'll be handing out door prizes. As far as gaming goes, it looks like most of what they'll have at this convention are tabletop games, so I'm thinking anime-themed card games, board games, and stuff like that. There will also be vendors present as well as artists probably selling some amazing art, so make sure you go check that out. Alright, that's the fun stuff. Now let's move on to the boring stuff. The Horseshoe Pavillion is located on 2514 Arena Trail in Midland, Texas. Now the Horseshoe Pavillion is a convention center of sorts, so expect a lot of spacious room, and there may be on-site concessions, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on it. Now as far as hotels go, Midland has a loop going around it, Loop 250. In that area, you're actually going to find hotels ranging from $50 to $120 a night. You'll have choices ranging from a Holiday Inn to a Hilton. There's also a Wyndham and a Doubletree located downtown. I'm relatively certain as far as parking goes, the Horseshoe Pavillion will have its own parking lot. However, I don't know if they're going to be charging for that or not. Again, don't quote me on it. I'm just saying what Paul's telling me to. Now for transportation, you're pretty much going to be on your own. However, Midland and Odessa do have an Easy Rider bus system, and you can find a link to that right here. Now let's talk about the weather. Midland and Odessa are pretty much located in a desert. I'm not joking, I grew up in Odessa, it's a desert. So expect temperatures to be very hot and expect the climate to be very, very dry. Most of the temperatures I was seeing in the forecast for this weekend ranged from the mid to high 90s. However, triple-digit temperatures are not unheard of during this time of year. So if you're traveling in from a more humid climate, make sure you pack a lot of lotion and make sure you drink tons of water. However, luckily this venue is entirely indoors and hopefully with AC, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now, as far as general location information goes, Midland and Odessa are located about a 30-minute drive from each other, so if you wanted to check out both towns, it is absolutely possible to do that. Make sure you go visit Dave at Astral Castle in downtown Midland, and make sure you check out West Texas Cards and Games in Odessa, Texas. A couple of last notes on things to do. Make sure you wear light and breathable clothing because it will be hot. It will be summer in West Texas. Make sure you bring a lot of lotion and drink a lot of water to keep yourself moisturized. And don't forget to bring a bag for swag and games to play during downtime. I prefer to use this messenger bag that I got at Old Navy like 9 years ago, but it's lasted me this long. This video is totally not sponsored by Old Navy, by the way. Old Navy, give me money. There's plenty of good food to eat around that area. Make sure you enjoy yourself some good old West Texas barbecue, enjoy the sights, and get yourself some West Texas hospitality. Also of note, since the convention center has its own concessions, no outside alcohol is allowed, nothing illegal, and as always, rule number 1, don't be a dick. And that's pretty much it for our convention spotlight on Koya Con. Here's a link for more information. Now let's go ahead and move on to our updates and corrections section. A quick weather update on Comicpalooza. Forecasts are still showing temperatures in the high 80s to mid 90s. However, I'm still seeing a slight chance of thunderstorms on Saturdays, so keep that umbrella handy. As far as hotel rates go for Comicpalooza, the downtown Houston area ranges are reaching the $200 to $220 mark. The hotels in the 610 Loop region all look like they're $100 or above. However, hotels in the Beltway 8 region are still under $100, and it's totally feasible to stay around the Beltway 8 region and still be able to drive to the downtown Houston area. Also, we have a huge general convention update for Alamo City Comic Con. David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, will be in attendance on Saturday, so make sure you go pick up a pass for that convention if that interests you. There will also be photo op passes and autograph passes. Also, actress Billie Piper will be in attendance as well, so both the 10th Doctor and Rose are going to be in the same place at the same time here in Texas. Excuse me for just 1 second.
Oh my gosh, yes!
And as far as corrections go, we haven't received any so far. But remember, if I've jacked something up in this episode, or if there's a convention that you want us to cover in the future, make sure to send us an email at connews.texas@gmail.com. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Sammy B. This was Con News Texas, and we will see you next Sunday.